Welcome back, everybody, to the Great Big Sports Show. We are Rainjack Sports. I'm Randy Meadows.
I'm Jackie Haswell. Thank you for joining us.
We appreciate everybody following us on Twitter. We're starting to raise our
we're up almost 500 people, man.
That's
right.
Pretty cool, our Twitter following's up, and love to have more. We appreciate all the feedback everybody gives us.
So if you're taking the time to listen to our show, take the time to tell your friends about us, man, and maybe we can get more people following us and whatnot. What we're doing is pretty good. Last weekend, Randy, we went 21-8 against the spread. So
that's not bad. It's not bad at all.
I tweeted on Twitter earlier this week or this weekend that we're winning at over a 70% clip for the year. And I know Saturday alone we won at 80%.
Mm-hmm.
And I tweeted, hottest handicappers on the planet. And I wasn't kidding. I mean, I'm not trying to brag and I'm not trying to be boastful, but I mean, what we're doing here is...
We are good looking.
We are good looking. But what we're doing is real. And if you don't believe it, you got to check out the site, man. We're winning at over 70%. This Saturday we went 80% against the spread. And I would be willing to say that there's nobody on the planet that's doing what we're doing, man. So, man, please tell your friends and family and people who gamble on football about and they want some winners, check out our site, man. We got it. We got it. So,
yeah, and if there's somebody doing it at a better clip than we are, I promise they're charging you way more than we are.
Yeah, because we're giving our shit away for free. I mean, good God, man.
It's hard to beat, man.
So all our picks every week for free. And that's not a joke, man. So get on the website and check it out, man. So let's talk about some football, Randy.
What you want to start with, bud?
Well, let's talk about some games from this past weekend, man. It was some blowouts in the Georgia Tech game.
Yeah.
And Alabama Auburn game, you know.
Which one you want to talk about first?
Well,
let's talk about the most something that's relevant, and that's Bama and Auburn. Alabama beat the dog piss out of
I heard one of the announcers say that Alabama's going to be able to name the score in this one, and I was like, that's pretty funny, man. So
I thought Auburn could hang around in the first half with them, and then Bama would blow them out. No.
I thought Auburn would get up a little for that game. You know, if they can't get up for that game.
Who can you get up for? I mean, Gene Chizik got fired. I mean, I'm not going to say the guy deserved it.
2 years removed from the national championship, but he had a special player on his team. So
well, he did, but he
willed them to victory.
He lost his coordinators and that kind of stuff. But I don't know, man.
Alabama beat them like a drum. They beat them stupid, man.
Yeah.
So what was the final score? 49-0.
Something like that. I think it was 49-0.
I really thought Auburn would come out and kind of hang with them a little bit and kind of get riled up, but no, they had no fight in them, Randy.
None
they had
whatsoever.
No fight in them.
So, and that's what makes me think that Gene Chizik not being there is a good thing. You know, was it 3-4 years ago whenever they brought him off the plane in Auburn as the official coach, and that one fan was non-fan was at the airport booing him. I said, man, what kind of fan are you? This guy hasn't even been here.
Well, he wasn't the popular hire anyway because he come out of Iowa State.
He wasn't sexy. He wasn't a sexy pick. He wasn't a sexy coach. And there was a lot of other coaches out there that were sexy.
Kind of like sexy like me and you or better resume.
Both. Both. But he just wasn't the sexy pick, and you know, he had Cam Newton, and you said it a minute ago. He had a very special player.
I mean, I think anybody could have won anyone could have won a national championship with Cam Newton playing quarterback. So.
That's right. He was a great college quarterback.
Well, off to the Alabama, you know, they dominated and they looked good. And Georgia played Georgia Tech this weekend, rivalry weekend, and Georgia thumped Georgia Tech pretty good. Georgia Tech's been playing really well lately. And I would have took the points in that game, getting 14 points. Tech always seems to play Georgia tough. And the week before, Georgia played Georgia Southern, who's an option team, and gave up like a little over 300 yards rushing in that game. So, and Georgia Tech's just a little different than Georgia Southern. And I really thought Tech would play them tough, but Georgia blew them out too.
Paul Johnson used to coach at Georgia Southern, the coach for Tech. So there's the history and the correlation, I guess, if you can put that together. But
I didn't even watch the Georgia Tech game, Randy.
Really?
No, I did. I had the other 12 o'clock. It was a 12 o'clock game, wasn't it?
Michigan, Ohio State. Yeah.
That was the one for me, man. I had all my eggs in that basket. I started my Saturday off, my 9-1 Saturday. I started it off with a big win on Ohio State. So, what's funny? A lot of people bet that game at 6, and I got it at 4. So if you bet it at 6 and took Michigan, you won because you got the points. They won by 5. So I guess people bet it all over the board. But
I thought I saw it at 5, and I figured it probably got bet down to 4.
Yeah, I really thought it would be more of a blowout. But to be honest with you, Randy, Ohio State was in complete domination and control of that game. They should have won by 20 points. They got down inside the 10-yard line 4 times and came away with 0 points. They missed 2 field goals and turned it over twice inside the 10. They should have completely drubbed Michigan to death. It really wasn't a contest, to be honest with you, but it was close on the scoreboard.
Well, that could be the difference in playing a rivalry game and just a regular game, and which alludes back to what we're talking about, Auburn and Bama. You can have a team go down and miss 2 field goals and not get 2 first downs inside the red zone, and it be a rivalry game, and that other team still hang around, to where Bama just went down and just pummeled.
Man, Alabama and Georgia both looked really, really good this weekend. And setting up for this Saturday, Georgia, Alabama, and people say, "Oh, we need a playoff system in college football." Well, hell, there is a playoff system. I mean,
it's called win.
That's right, it's called win. So whoever wins the Georgia-Alabama game Saturday is going to earn the right to play Notre Dame in the BCS National Championship game. So,
what do you think about if the top 4 teams were in a playoff system today? Say Notre Dame plays Florida, Georgia, and Alabama in a playoff system if it started this weekend. And it kind of does because Georgia plays Alabama. But
this is what really sucks about the playoff system, because right now there's 3 out of 4 teams in the SEC. You're going to have an SEC, no matter what. The chances are there's going to be an SEC championship, an SEC national champion every year. Right now they're sitting 2, 3, and 4. So, and if you want to expand it to 8, well, we got 5, 6, 7, and 8 covered. I mean, the SEC is such, and that was the next thing I wanted to talk about, is the ACC sucks, Randy. Okay, and I think we saw that this weekend. Okay, Florida State plays Florida in their own stadium. And everyone's like, ooh, Florida. Florida was a 7-point underdog, which I thought was a joke. I thought that was, when I bet $100 on the money line, Randy. There was no way Florida State was beating Florida, man. That was dumb.
If they did mess around and win, it wouldn't be by more than 7. I mean, I didn't understand that either, man. I don't know where they come up with that.
Because Florida State's the sexy pick, man. And they forgot one simple thing. Florida State's competition is in the ACC. They're beating up on NC State and Duke.
Well, they lost to NC State, but yeah.
My point exactly. It is just a different brand of football, Randy. And same thing, South Carolina, Clemson. Everyone's like, ooh, Clemson, Taj Boyd, yay. No.
South Carolina went in there with a backup quarterback and a backup running back.
And beat them.
Smacked them in the mouth real good.
It's just the ACC.
That game, man, I liked watching that game. It was hard for me not to watch that game.
Yeah.
Death Valley was rocking, man. That was just a great atmosphere. It was a good rivalry.
Go there, man. That'd be a great place to go to a game at.
I didn't like it last time I went up there.
Really?
Yeah. It looks like they've done some renovations, but that place was a dump, man. I was just like,
yeah, but
it's kind of like Bobby Dodd, man. Bobby Dodd's kind of
the atmosphere,
too, but the atmosphere was really good. But Georgia went up there and thumped them pretty good. I think Georgia and Clemson play next year.
Really?
See, the next year, the year after, they start another.
Yeah, it used to be a big rivalry back in the day.
It did.
So back to the ACC, man.
Yeah,
they're not good. So, but backtracking even further, setting up this weekend, Georgia, Alabama, play in for the national championship. What do you think is going to happen in the Georgia-Alabama game, Randy?
Well, I'm trying not to get my heart involved in any
being
of this.
Biased. I understand because we're from Georgia, and
I don't know how David Pollack sits on the set of the BCS Countdown every Sunday night, and like last night, I think it's false advertisement. He said last night that him and Palmer both were kind of on Florida real big, and you know what, man? Big props to Florida. they've lost to Georgia. That's it. They've beaten 4 or 5 top 13 teams. Maybe they deserve it,
Yeah,
but they're not. So,
Oh, they're on the outside looking in. Someone's got to be.
It happens. Exactly right. Somebody's got to be. Next year or 2 years, they get their chance to have a playoff system where they'd be in. And, but that's still a ways away. But to keep, without being too biased, my wife asked me what that game meant to me last night. I said, honestly, well, all my life, I've wanted Georgia to win. All my life. They haven't. And this is their chance. I said,
this is the closest they've ever come, Randy. In our lifetime.
It is.
Since we've been watching football, this is the closest Georgia has ever come.
Somebody at work asked me the same thing. What, you think Georgia's got a chance? I do. I think Georgia's got a chance.
I think they do too, Randy. I think they have a chance. I think if Georgia played Alabama's team from last year, they wouldn't have a chance.
No, I agree.
But we have sat here on this show and have said Alabama is not the same team. They are good, but they are not as good as they were last year. They have lost plenty of talent in the NFL draft, and so if there was ever a year that Georgia's going to knock off Alabama, this is the year, man.
Yeah, so, I agree. I think they've got the weapons. They've got the passing game. They may have the running game. And 2 defenses are really good.
Hey, LSU lined up and ran the ball for 200 yards against them. So, but the run the ball for 200 yards against Alabama is you have to be strong up front. So, can Georgia's offensive line outpower that defensive line? So, I mean, LSU, they got 6 NFL draft picks on their offensive line. So,
I think this weekend the key to winning this football game is going to be fullbacks. We're going to have a fullback to get up in there, and, if we can get a hole to get in there and knock out a linebacker to get some extra yardage and whatnot, and that'll help open up the passing game. But the passing game, here's what kills me about Georgia's passing game. They tend against good defenses to throw it laterally instead of vertically. East-west, it drives me bananas. LSU did it against Alabama last year in the championship game. Take the snap and throw it to the sideline. You can't score a damn touchdown throwing to the sideline.
Georgia has never been one of those teams, as long as I can remember. Coach Rick, he doesn't take enough shots downfield. And
you know who did? Jim Donnan. Jim Donnan would get after it, throw that ball down the field.
And you know what? I think that is one of the most important things in all levels of football, whether it's high school, college, or NFL, is at least if I was a coach, one side of every 10 or 15 plays, I'm running a seam route or a go route. You go, and I'm going to throw it as far as I can, because that makes those safeties stay back there, makes them linebackers stay back there, makes them defensive backs stay back there. It spreads the field out and makes the defense respect you. And especially if you pick or choose your spot, look, there's only a couple things that can happen. Either the guy makes a great catch, it's incomplete, or it's pass interference, or it's an interception, but who cares? If you throw
40, 50 yards down the field anyway.
Hell, your punter probably can't kick it that far. So, Georgia.
And you don't have to complete that pass. If you throw it on a first, second down, you don't have to complete that pass to get that separation that you need from your linebackers drop back a little bit, your safeties drop back just a touch.
I agree with you, Randy. I think
you don't have to complete it. You just got to get it down there, get it close. I mean, you can't just go down and overthrow your coverage. I mean, that just doesn't make sense.
That has driven me crazy about Coach Rick and the play calling at Georgia is they do not attack teams vertically. And every team that is good quality team, they'll throw it deep. And I promise you, Alabama will throw it deep on Georgia.
They certainly will.
But there you go. Who's a better coach, Nick Saban? Coach Rick.
LSU threw the ball down the field a little bit too. Of course, they got helped by that running game. So, it's catch-22, man. I don't know. Like I said, my wife and somebody at work asked me what this game meant to me. And I said, it'll change my life if Georgia wins.
It would. I mean, Randy, we've been Georgia fans for since we were old enough to watch
football. Change my life. I'm excited right now. I'm ready.
Yep. Since we were old enough to start watching football, we've been rooting for Georgia, and this is their chance, man. Yep. So it's hard not to root for them. So, but,
it is.
The line came out today.
Yeah.
Georgia plus 8, 8-point underdog.
Georgia's getting 8 points.
So
in a number 2 versus number 3 game.
See, and for me, from a gambler's perspective, that I look at it from a gambler's perspective. I'll bet on I'll root for a team this week and I'll root against them next week. I really don't have any favorite team.
Yeah, I come from the school of Colin Cowherd. If you have your favorite team, mine's Georgia, you bet against them. If they win, you didn't give a damn. You lost that little bit of money you put against the other team.
So we're
You know what I mean?
putting 1,000 on Alabama this weekend.
And if you win, then you know what? Your team lost, but damn, you just won some money. So
Yeah.
it's kind of, but I would rather bet on Alabama and Georgia win this week. I would.
Yeah. As
Because
a gambler,
I think either one of these teams can beat Notre Dame.
I think so too.
I think
so.
any of the top 7 teams can probably beat Notre Dame.
Yeah, we talked about it last week's show. You give Notre Dame a month to prepare, they can beat Georgia. It's going to be a ball game. But I don't think the SEC is as dominant this year as they have been in the past several years. Not saying they're not dominant. I mean, they are, because the SEC is going to have another representative in the national championship. But the last 4 or 5 years, the SEC has had teams that were just so ungodly believable with so much NFL talent that nobody could beat them. And this is the year the SEC is still good, but they're weak a little at the same time. Does that make any sense? So
as a whole, the SEC, we haven't had this many teams up front.
Yeah, but there's not
in the top
one,
10.
oh my God, this team. Like Alabama has
We
its
thought
flaws.
Alabama was it.
So y'all thought Alabama was it. I tried telling everybody since the beginning of the damn year they weren't, but nobody wanted to listen to me.
Yeah, but you said K-State, and they got thumped off. Well, here I feel bad for Oregon and K-State a little bit. They got one loss apiece. Now, K-State's coming to a very good Baylor team, and Oregon lost to Stanford, who's playing phenomenal football.
Stanford plays in their
And
conference
that's one team I
championship.
don't want to play right now. Stanford. No.
Man, they're tough. Ball club.
As a matter of fact, I'd like to see Stanford and Notre Dame play again.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
now, that would be which they could have easily won this year already, and they not easily, but they could have won it.
That was a heck of a ball game, Randy. That was
Yeah.
one of the best ball games of the year. That was an unbelievable football
That's
game.
what in games like that is what's going to make Notre Dame dangerous, no matter who they play.
Let me tell you something. Notre Dame is sneaky good.
They are.
They're
Man.
sneaky. They are.
They didn't look especially great Saturday night in the game.
They don't look good in any of their games. They just go out there and beat you. They put a hat on a hat. They run a efficient offense. It's not fancy. They play unbelievable defense. I'm really impressed with Notre Dame's defense.
You think Manti
Te'o.
Te'o is as good as advertised?
Oh yeah.
I think he's good. I don't know if
He's a man beast.
You think he's Heisman material?
He's going to he deserves a chance to go, but he's not going to win it. I mean, history says he's not. So, I mean, he had a great season. Notre Dame had a great season. He's going to get invited to New York, which is a great honor, and he's still going to win lots of awards for the position that he plays and everything, but no, he's not. I don't think he'll win the Heisman Trophy. So,
Well, let's talk Heisman then. Who's your favorite for Heisman?
well, it's a toss-up. I kind of liked Colin Klein because I've watched him play the last 2 years, and I've been on the Colin Klein bandwagon for a while.
Sure.
And Manziel for Texas A&M, he's been getting a lot of pump here lately.
They have been hyping him, haven't they?
And I was wondering why. And today I took the time to look at the stats.
Numbers don't lie, do they?
Numbers don't lie, Randy. And here's the stats for Klein. Klein has 2,300 yards passing, 14 touchdowns, 800 yards rushing, 20 touchdowns. That's a total of 3,100 yards and 34 touchdowns. He's played 9 bowl teams. Okay, that's unbelievable. That's awesome stats. 3,100 yards, 34 touchdowns. Now, Manziel has 3,400 passing yards. He has more passing yards than Klein does total yards. Okay? And we hadn't even gotten to Manziel's rushing yards. He has 1,200 rushing yards. So that's a total of 4,600 total yards that this guy has accumulated this year with 43 touchdowns, 10 more touchdowns. And his team has played 8 bowl teams. So to me, it's a no contest. Manziel's won it hand down.
I think so. Redshirt freshman's going to win the Heisman this year.
With those numbers, Randy.
What if Klein comes back and has a good weekend?
Well, Klein does have, and now here's the thing. Texas and Kansas State play this weekend, and it's the last game. It's going to be on 8 o'clock. I don't know if it's going to be on ESPN or ABC, but it'll be one of the last games on. And so Colin Klein has a chance. Texas A&M is done, I think. They aren't. I don't know if they have a night game on national TV. So Klein has one last chance. But the problem, Randy, is he's not going to gain 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns in one game. He's still going to be so far behind Manziel in stats.
You think so? I mean, you don't think he can catch up? You really just don't think? Obviously, I know he can't get that many yards.
Man, Randy,
against Texas. Although he could, TCU beat the piss out of him.
No, man, I don't think so. Man, I'll tell you what, if he gets 1,000 yards total offense in one game, give it to him, man. Okay,
but I like it.
No, I don't know. So in Texas A&M's lost two ball games this year.
Yeah,
and they lost them to
LSU and Florida.
That's right. So and they played hard in them games and had a chance to win them. And,
I really like their coach, man. Sumlin. Yeah. I like him.
I'm very surprised with Texas A&M.
What's going to be crazy is you got to take Arkansas out of the mix and plug Texas A&M in there next year. They're going to be that team next year with the damn returning Heisman winner.
God.
And they're going to be another year in that system. Whew.
Here's an interesting bowl matchup. All the bowl matchups haven't come out. Some of them have. And I've got some wrote down here, interesting bowl matchups. And how about Texas A&M versus Kansas State in a bowl game? Manziel versus Klein. And why don't we not give the Heisman Trophy away until after the bowl game? Say, okay, you two duke it out. Y'all both are pretty good. Whoever wins this game gets the Heisman Trophy and present it on the field after the game to the winner. Tell me people wouldn't be glued to that, man. Yeah, because it's a two-man race.
That's right.
I mean, it really is. It's a two-man race.
Well, who else gets invited? We say Manti Te'o. Who else gets invited to New York? Is that it?
I don't know. Who else would get invited?
I don't know. I'm just kind of curious.
I don't know.
Food for thought.
So
I don't know who else.
The kid from Oregon's going to get invited.
Yeah, Barner.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to get invited. He's put up some stupid numbers, too. I don't have them in front of me, but he's put up some ridiculous numbers.
They come out and thumped Oregon State Saturday.
They damn sure did. You know,
they were on a mission.
Yeah.
I really thought they would, too. I mean, I did.
I thought they might come out a little flat.
I thought their spirit might be broken a little bit, but
they picked themselves up off the mat and did their thing, man. So, without a doubt. So, that would be a very interesting bowl matchup, though, wouldn't it, Randy? Kansas State, Texas A&M?
Yep, definitely. And, I mean, that could happen in the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd
be good TV.
Very good. It'd be good for the Cotton Bowl, man. That would be a great interesting matchup. So to see that happen.
Yeah.
So.
And you know, when they put these bowl games together, they're trying to create a game that's going to have some buzz. Fans want to see. It's going to make good TV. You know, some of them, you know, their hands are tied with who has to go from what conferences. But boy, that'd be a really good ball game, Kansas State and Texas A&M. So, and I'll tell you another interesting bowl game. Last week, both these teams had to win to get in, and we picked them on our website, both to win, and they both covered the spread. West Virginia went to Iowa State and covered the spread, part of my 9-1 Saturday.
Sweet.
And Baylor went to Texas Tech and had to go to overtime.
Yeah.
And they were down.
They were down for
14 points, and I'm sweating. And I'm like, damn, I got all right on Baylor, man. I said, there's no way Baylor's defense holds somebody twice to just get the game tied. Their defense would have to hold someone 3 times to take the lead. I'm like, this is a losing proposition, but. Sure enough, but hey.
So Baylor, West Virginia rematch.
Man, the first time they played was 73-68, Randy.
That sounds like one of those.
Nobody watched it because it was on some random ass Saturday. And
nobody can put that. No, I mean, that's not going to be a bowl game because it's a conference matchup.
Why not?
Because that ain't how it works, man.
Man, it might, Randy. It might. There's so many bowls.
It would make for good TV. That's one of them holiday bowls.
There is 33 bowl games, dude. They can make it work somehow or another.
I want to welcome Monero TV 7030 to the web chat here. Appreciate you chiming in and listening. Give us any feedback you want on anything we say, and we'll
thank you.
Put it on the air and
thank you for
make fun of you or whatever we do.
So, but you're right, Randy. They are in the same conference, but with 33 bowl games, you'd think they'd find a way to get Baylor and West Virginia to play again, because that would be some unbelievable TV. So,
well, we talked about Georgia, Alabama the conference matchups. What do you think about Wisconsin and Nebraska?
Randy, I'm going to tell you this. That is going to be my favorite game of the year to bet on.
And I'm assuming you're going with Nebraska.
Absolutely. That okay. Hear me
They're
out.
both such a wild card, man.
Randy,
it's just I don't like either one of them.
Let me tell you something I read last night in an article. If Wisconsin wins this game, then the Big Ten doesn't send someone to a BCS bowl game.
Why?
Because of the record. Wisconsin's record would be 7-5. It's not good enough to be in a BCS bowl game. A MAC team is going to get the at-large bid in the BCS bowl. So they will get. Don't get me wrong. Wisconsin will go to the Rose Bowl, but they're not going to get the other at-large bid. So.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
They're not.
So if Nebraska wins, then
they go to the Rose Bowl and get a BCS. But I guess no matter what,
the Rose Bowl is a BCS game.
Yeah. You'll have to read the article. It was on ESPN. Make a long story short, that makes the Northern Illinois, Kent State Conference Championship really.
Which that's Tuesday or Wednesday night.
Yeah, that's going to be a heck of a ball game, Randy.
I'm looking forward to it.
Both those teams have a chance to get a BCS because of the way all the legal mumbo jumbo is written in the BCS. If so and so teams don't have a good enough record, blah 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 blah. Make a long story short, Northern Illinois and Kent State have a chance to make it to a BCS bowl game this year. So
go MAC.
Go Nebraska.
Who did?
No, go Wisconsin if you want that to happen.
Yeah,
I mean.
Do you know who Kent State lost to? They got one loss. Do you know who they lost to?
Texas A&M?
No. God, no.
I'm trying to remember. Who was it?
Kentucky. They got blown out by Kentucky.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
The Wildcats of Kentucky.
Hey, we've been on the MAC here lately. I've watched just about every MAC game
about
here lately.
10 years ago, man, I won my ass off on the MAC. Yeah. I mean, I would... In the Ben Roethlisberger era, in that time frame, they started getting them noon games on ESPN, man.
Yeah.
And I started watching them a little bit, and I was like, you know what? These Akron Zips ain't too bad.
Yeah, they play exciting.
They're going to roll right here, and I'd start loading up, and that's why I win most of my money on the weekend.
Good football. If you just want to watch a good football game, that Northern Illinois Kent State game is going to be
a great one to watch.
It's going to be a great football game, Randy. I promise you, it's going to be.
Northern Illinois, their whatever their loss was to Iowa. I watched that game because I took Northern Illinois. I said, man, Northern Illinois is not a bad team. They played for the MAC championship last year, and. Yeah. And they lost in overtime to Iowa. So
yeah, both those teams are really good. I'm looking forward to that game. So we'll actually have a play on that one. So some other interesting conference games this weekend. We already talked about Texas, Kansas State. That's going to be a good game, and
it's got the chance to be a good game. I don't know if it'll remain.
Hey man, Texas is on a mission, dude. They didn't look good at the beginning of the year, but they've kind of put it together and have went on a roll. And
they didn't look good against TCU last week.
Yeah.
And that was one of my plays this weekend. I thought TCU, man.
A little bit of a look-ahead spot, too, though.
Maybe. But TCU kind of came out and shut them down, played some good defense, and that's why I thought they would win.
And TCU struggled here lately, and they put a good game together Saturday, TCU did. After 3 or 4 bad outings. They had their quarterback problem they had down there. If you don't remember, their quarterback got suspended. He needs to go on the idiot board. So remember the sign that we were talking about?
Yeah, so, I agree. So what else? You like the Louisville-Rutgers game?
Shoot, yeah, man. It's the Big East Championship. Why wouldn't you like it?
Why wouldn't you be all hyped up for it, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, there is potential there. So it's going to be
another crazy scenario in this one. Let me see, what's the scenario? If Rutgers wins, I think that puts a 3-way tie, maybe even a 4-way tie for first. And whoever has the highest BCS ranking gets to go to the Big East Championship or something.
Yeah. Yeah. There's lots of interesting scenarios playing out for the bowl games this year.
Not that, I mean, whoever they play in the bowl game will
How about the Big East champion is going to be ranked lower than the MAC champion?
Hey.
Because Northern Illinois and Kent State are ranked like 17th and 20th or something like that. I can't remember the rankings exactly, but I don't think Louisville or the Rutgers, either one are ranked.
They may not be.
They're not. Neither one of them are ranked. and you have two MAC teams that playing for the MAC championship that are ranked, and that goes back into the thing that says if a team is ranked and they have a record and blah blah blah,
they got to be in the They got to be in the top 16 or 15 in the BCS, and
that's right. It gets complicated, so they got lots of rules to it. So this weekend will be interesting. So college football is not nearly over, and someone was talking about football's almost over. I can't believe it. I'm like, hell, football's just getting started, man. We're at the halfway point of the year.
That's right.
If you think about it, Randy, there's still all of December, all of January. There's 2.5 months almost of football. You got all the bowl games, the NFL, college playoffs. I
think Donovan's crying. I'm not sure.
What?
He ain't listening. There's a lot left, and it's just getting started. Like you said, it's getting exciting, and I don't know how this college season is going to play out, but
yeah. Well, you know what? We've done really well this year. We're winning at over 70% on the year. Hell, last Saturday we were 80% picking winners. I went 9-1 against the spread. My point is if you're taking the time to listen to our podcast, take the time to get on our website and look at our picks. We give them away for free. Big button on the top, right there on the top says free picks. We give all our picks away for free, man. Tell your friends and family about it, and hopefully you guys can make some money, man.
That's right.
Because we ain't doing this for our health, man. I want to pay my house off, dude.
That's right. Sweet.
So anyway, let's move on to the NFL, man. I think we've talked about all the interesting things in college.
What's your favorite topic in the NFL this week?
Okay, Ndamukong Suh kicking Witchmadigger in the nuts.
Matt Schaub
in the nuts.
Well, let's talk about that whole game. Let's talk about him. What did you think about it? You think it was dirty?
Hell yeah, he did it on purpose, dude. You will never. And when you watch that, his leg, that was not a natural motion of a 300-pound man rolling over, and his leg would have just rolled on over. He purposely, because he's looking. It's like he was looking at his crotch area. He had
his crotch area.
This man did it on purpose. You'll never
call it junk. We're on a podcast,
whatever you want to call it.
This is America.
What do you think, Randy? Do you think he kicked him on purpose?
I don't know, because I don't see it in real time. Here's what's crazy about that whole game. I've been sick, and I took some cough medicine, and I couldn't sleep all Wednesday night. I finally went to sleep like at 5 that next morning. Well, when I did, I woke up, and we had breakfast with my in-laws. So we eat breakfast, and then next thing I know, man, football's starting shortly after. So I'm on the couch, and I'm like, yeah, I want to watch. I'm out. I'm gone. I wake up. I'm out again. I wake up, I hear people booing, and old boy fell down, his knee hit the ground, got up and running for a touchdown.
Oh my God, what a that rule is going to be changed this year. So.
Well, it's a crazy rule, but it's the coaching staff responsibility to know the rules.
That's true. That's very true.
They should have known those rules.
But, and then for you listeners that don't know what we're talking about, in the Detroit-Houston game, a Houston player ran a slant, and he caught the ball. He was hit. He went down, got up, and ran 50 more yards for a touchdown, and they called it a touchdown. And before he scored the touchdown, the coach for Detroit had already thrown the red challenge flag out on the field while the play was going
I think
on.
It was already out before they even put it on the Jumbotron. He threw the damn thing out, and he should have.
And the rule says that you can't challenge a play while a play's going on.
Yeah.
And if you do, you're giving up your right to challenge the play, period. And even if you're right, you can't challenge it. And that's bullheaded and stupid. That's a terrible rule, Randy.
It is.
So because it changed the outcome of that football game. And they will change that rule. So
yeah, I'm assuming that's Shane right there. Shane, it did hurt you Falcons the week before. They had the same thing called on them, and I didn't even know that. I had no clue till somebody told me Friday. Somebody said, yeah, the same thing happened to the darn Falcons, and I was like, oh, okay. Said I had no clue. So obviously they don't watch NFL Network or anything.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Everybody learned. I mean, there's so many little rules and nuances, and it's amazing how sometimes they don't come up until something dramatic happens. And that was just one of them rules that didn't come up, you know?
Well, I had during that game, I had pipe dreams that Arian Foster was going to snap his knee or something like that, because somebody who may or not be in our chat room right now was playing me in fantasy football this week. He had Arian Foster.
Did he now?
And he went on to spank my tail, I believe. I didn't. I quit watching it last night, Shane.
I'm sure he'll pop up the final score.
He'll rub my nose in it, and
Yeah.
he should. I'm having an awful year in that league, man.
But back to the Lions. They're a scrappy bunch of they're a scrappy football team to be for the record being 4-7. I really thought the Lions would lose that game. You still have one player.
Yeah, like that's gonna make a difference. I got Deshaun.
The problem is
Jackson.
you're down 50 points.
Yeah,
so
we
need Deshaun Jackson to have 400 yards receiving tonight and 6 touchdowns.
I think he's killing me. So.
I hadn't started Deshaun Jackson. I drafted his ass earlier in the year. I've started him one time. He is a bust, man.
In my other league, he's just needs like 30. Thanks, Shane.
Well, you know what? 150 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns to do it, man. So you never know.
Carolina gives up the pass. I will say that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but Detroit. Let's talk about Detroit.
Scrappy to be as bad as they are. I really thought Texans would come in there. But you know what? I think that's a testament to what I said and we've talked about earlier. I don't think the Texans are as good as advertised. They're good, but they're not great.
Oh, that's right.
I just don't think they're a great football team. So, and the Lions gave them all they wanted. So,
Lions should have won that game.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. So, but that was an interesting football game, to say the least.
I enjoyed it, man. It was kind of a complete game. Let me take that back. I was in and out of consciousness, so what little bit I did get to see, but it was funny that the false touchdown or whatever, the phantom touchdown. I woke up because people were booing, and I knew I was missing something. You could be there asleep, and you just kind of hear something. I knew I was missing something, so I kind of missed that. And then they showed the replay, and I was like, "Ooh, that's got to suck right there." So,
yeah, that did. Well,
I'm just glad it wasn't Arian Foster that scored that touchdown. I'm glad it was Justin Forsett. So,
yeah, without a doubt. What about the Atlanta-Tampa game? You watch it?
I watched bits and pieces of it. I saw the end of it. I didn't get to watch much of it because I was on the golf course Sunday. I'm going to be honest. So,
damn, Tampa Bay is a scrappy team, Randy.
They were in that game the whole time and was up until the end. Yeah.
It was the best game on TV yesterday to me. I mean, it was.
We knew it was going to be that kind of a game, man. We knew it. And we really thought that Tampa might come out on the better end of the deal.
I picked Tampa on the website. And you know what? A lot of people, depending on where you got it, I bet it at a pick. And a couple of my friends took the Falcons at -1.5.
Oh, they got a half on it?
God. They lost by half a point. I mean, what are the chances of a game landing on 24-23 and losing by that half? I would have done anything to have bet on it by 1.5 because I would have won by my half, because I just thought Tampa was going to win. Tampa's a tough out, man. I promise you. I'm telling you, if they sneak into the playoffs, they are going to win their first round playoff game. They are a tough out, Randy. So, tough out.
I agree.
So, they got a tough game this weekend, Tampa does. Denver Broncos.
Denver, that's right.
They're traveling to Denver and playing the Broncos. And me and you talked about this the other day. I think Denver might possibly be the best team in the NFL. So, I know they got 3 losses.
What's going to kill them, and you could tell it yesterday, man, is their running game. McGahee's out. Willis McGahee's out. I thought Ronnie Hillman was going to be toting the rock.
How can that kill him, Randy?
Huh?
That means the best quarterback in the league history has to throw the ball more.
Because they run the ball. That's why they run the football and pass out of it.
Yeah.
And they're that good because they pass out of it. I mean, they're good because they got Peyton. And
so you're telling me they're going to get worse now that Peyton Manning has to throw more?
No, I'm saying that they're how many points did they put up yesterday?
But it was who'd they play yesterday? Let's not kill ourselves. We got a big game against Tampa next week. We're playing the Chiefs. Well, let's just go in here and coast to victory. Just like the Baltimore Ravens only beat the Chiefs 9-3, and just like everyone beats the Chiefs 10-3. Why put in your full effort and go try to kill these guys? Let's just hold back and play it like a scrimmage game and save our energy for next week, man.
Well, I don't know. I just think that I think the running game is going to keep them from throwing the football as much as they want to.
Yeah. Well, it'll
still be good enough to beat most of their competition.
It's going to be a heck of a game. So Tampa's not going to.
Tampa's one of the better teams against the run. So it may not even matter this week anyway. So
yeah. Well, talking about that conference, San Diego lost yesterday. Did you see the call in that game at the end of the game?
I kind of felt bad for San Diego,
botched
man.
That up. I mean, just when you think referees can't screw something up, they screwed that up so royally because they gave them the first down. And then, so they moved the whole apparatus, the chains, the first down markers, everything. It's already set up.
Oh,
and now
really?
They have to go back and replay the video to find out where are we going to put the chains back exactly on the field.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
When I flipped over, they were doing right before going in to look at it. And when they had just started reviewing it, and they were looking, and it looked like to me, let me see, they spotted the ball at the 33.5. And I thought the ball should have been, I'm spitting, they were going out or were they going in? I can't remember.
Going in.
They were going in, weren't they? I thought the ball should have been like at the 34.5 is where it looked like to me,
they
to be
spotted
fair.
an entire yard in front of where it should have been.
That's what I thought too.
And then when they instant replayed it, they still gave them such a favorable spot. And plus they screwed up the first. Now, mind you, Randy, it was 4th down and 30 on that play. 4th down and 30. It wasn't like it was 4th and 6. It was 4th down and 30. It might have been 4th down and 35. It was something ridiculous. And they run a little dump screen pass out to Ray Rice, and here he goes, man. He's all over the place. And
that's as much as San Diego's fault as it is the ref officials now. You got 30 yards to tackle somebody.
My biggest bet yesterday, Baltimore Ravens. And I'm going to tell you something, Randy, between a pro.
What was the line? 2.5?
3.
3?
No. I'm sorry. It was a pick 'em.
It was a pick 'em.
It was a pick 'em. I'm sorry. The line was a pick 'em. And
excuse me.
The difference between a pro and a Joe is finishing on the right side of something. Okay? And I will be glad in the first one to say it takes as much luck as it does skill to make money gambling. And I would rather be lucky any day of the week than be good. But some people have a knack for finishing on the right side of that, and some people have a knack for finishing on the left side.
That's right.
So, and all I know is my ass was on the right side of that yesterday. So
yeah, I couldn't believe it. As a matter, I thought they were going to go down and just score a touchdown and be done.
I did too. That's what I was.
The announcers kind of said it. The announcers were like, "Well, I guess now they got a minute and 30 at the 30-yard line," and then they got kind of conservative after they said that. I was like,
"Yeah,
okay."
They played for overtime, and then it went to overtime, and it was actually a good overtime period. Both teams possessed the ball 2 or 3 times, punted and whatnot. And did you see the catch Torrey Smith made, Randy? It was like a 3rd down. It was Baltimore had the ball. First of all, San Diego punted them deep. So
the bomb down the sideline?
Yeah. And so best catch in the NFL this year, period. Hands down, most unbelievable. If you have not seen this play, YouTube it, Google it, whatever. Torrey Smith's catch yesterday. Oh, my God. Randy, he went up, and in the midair, the ball, he had to readjust. He had someone all over him. The guy just barely misses it for the interception, and he comes down with it. I mean, it is just a spectacular catch, a spectacular throw. And they're in field goal range, and they come out there and kick the field goal and win by 3, man. So, and then back to the point, San Diego is done. Put a fork in them. Yeah. You know, they're not getting the wild card spot. They're not coming back and winning that division.
Here's my projection for San Diego next year. Guess who I think their new coach will be next year?
Who?
Andy Reid. It makes sense.
Yeah, Andy Reid.
That's kind of his guys out there. That's kind of his. That's
a great fit, Randy.
I think so too.
I think he could step in there.
I think he could go right now and maybe get them close to being, playoff contenders again if it was mathematically possible. But
that's really interesting.
I think he could. I think he's a great fit out there and.
Really interesting, actually, Randy, because Andy Reid's about to lose his job. There's no doubt. The writing is on the wall.
I think he wants out at this point. I think he does.
Yeah. And you know what? Just on a personal standpoint, it might be good if Andy Reid just took a break for a year or 2. He's been through hell, man. He's lost.
He really has, man.
He's had a lot of personal problems in his life, man.
Well, move to San Diego. The weather is awesome out there.
Golfing year-round.
Golf.
Women.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure he's married, though. I don't know if he is.
Well, look, you can't order off the menu, but you can damn sure look at the pictures on there, okay?
You damn right about that.
Look at it all you want. So,
can you actually have them bring it out so you can smell it too, or look at it?
This is a conversation that goes on before the show, not after the show starts, okay? It's that funny story where I was up at the Dome when I worked up there a little bit. I was in the Georgia Dome. I used to work in telecommunications up there some. We're walking through the suite area, the skyboxes and stuff. Well, outside of this one box, they had a dessert tray out there. You know, the fake dessert tray that looks so good.
Yeah.
I'm just walking by and I go, that is real. I had a big scoop of chocolate, whipped cream I thought it was fake. I thought it was one of the fake dishes they hand out and show people and then bring you the real stuff. Those were so not such good looking desserts. They looked fake. Stuck my finger right through the middle of it.
Funny.
I was like,
you ate it, didn't you?
yeah, and I ran. I said, I'm about to lose.
You ate it, didn't you?
I said, I'm about to lose my job over some whipped cream, man. I was a little embarrassed. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that.
That is funny.
So I got out of there real quick, but it was kind of scary. I think it was a Falcons game too. So, but anyway, so you can look at the menu. You just can't always stick your finger in it because you don't know if it's real or fake. So
we will leave that alone because I promise you I could go on. We could sit here and double entendre and pun this to no end. So let's stick our finger on this right here and talk about the New York Jets.
I'm getting hot. Ooh.
I'm getting you hot. You getting hot, Randy? Oh, baby. So let's talk about the Jets, Rex Ryan, Mark Sanchez, and Tim Tebow.
What you want to talk about them? What can we say about them?
To the point, Randy. I like Rex Ryan. I've always been a Rex Ryan fan. I like the way he coaches. I like his personality. But I think that he made a mistake by bringing Tim Tebow there. And if he does not start Tim Tebow, he is going to be fired. Okay, Mark Sanchez has already proven what he can give you. He's had his chance. You do not have a chance to make the playoffs now. You suck. You got embarrassed on Thanksgiving night by the New England Patriots by 40 points. You are terrible. You brought Tim Tebow here for a purpose. Put his ass down and let him play. And I think if they keep losing games, they're going to be fired. They will fire him. They'll fire him. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to lose them all. Mark Sanchez isn't going to be in New York no more. Rex Ryan's not going to be in New York no more. And Tim Tebow, he's leaving after this year anyway. So they're going to lose all three of them. So
maybe they're holding out for Matt Barkley.
Well, maybe. So
I don't know. That last USC quarterback they took didn't really work out for them. What if they put Tebow in now and they win out?
And they make the playoffs, Randy? It could happen.
Are they still in the playoffs?
They're 4-7 right now, Randy. That's 11. So if they win out, that's 11. They've got what? 7 more games. So they would be 11-7. That would make the playoffs.
Okay. What if they don't win out, but they win? What if they have a winning percentage from here on out?
If they put Tim Tebow in?
What if they go 4-3 if they put Tebow in? And they lose to New England again. Who else do we expect?
And then they had a respectable season, and Rex Ryan keeps his job.
You think he keeps it? Or do you think he has a chance of losing it if he puts Tebow in?
He keeps his job. He keeps his job. I think if he doesn't play Tim Tebow, he loses his job because they suck. They suck, Randy. The Jets are terrible, and they need some life, man. They're on life support. And so what? The kid ain't pretty, and he don't make the best looking pass and blah, blah, blah. But, man, he motivates people around him, and he has things called intangibles, things you can't measure. And the players will line up and die for him. They'll jump off the Brooklyn Bridge for him by the time it's all over with. So,
what happens if Rex Ryan gets fired? Where does he end up? Will he coach again somewhere else?
I'd like to think so. I like Rex Ryan.
I do too.
So, but maybe he's a better coordinator than he is a head coach. Look at what Wade Phillips is doing down in Houston, man.
I agree.
So, I don't know. So, I don't know. We'll see. That story is yet to unfold, and it's coming. It's going to happen. I think, and if it don't, I think Rex Ryan will be fired. So, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. They've obviously got some issues. They got some injuries. They have a bunch of problems.
And they do.
And it's not just who their quarterback's going to be. Did you see where what's his name? The fireman for the Jets that leads them in the JETS, Jets chant. Fireman Dave, is it? I think his name's Fireman Dave. He's a retired firefighter from New York, and he's a lifelong Fireman Ed. Thank you, Shane. I knew you'd be Johnny on the spot. So
sweet.
He quit. He's like, I'm through. I'm not going to be.
Until you start Tebow, I'm quitting.
No, and that's why I was like, really? He's going to quit? All because of quarterback controversy. He wears a Sanchez jersey to the game, and people were ridiculing him and giving him a hard time. And
I would too. Sanchez sucks, man. I mean,
that is awful, man.
Randy, it is what it is. I mean, he sucks. I mean, Mark Sanchez he might be average. Honest to God, average quarterback. That's it.
Oh, I agree.
I mean, it is what it is.
But you don't ridicule Fireman Ed over it.
Well, yeah, you do. Tell him he's rooting for a loser, dude. Obviously, all the fans in New York think the same thing, man. Hey, let's get rid of Sanchez.
He said he didn't think he could handle it no more, that he was about to go off on somebody. And
I wonder if he put a Tebow jersey on, how people would. Fireman Ed, if you're listening, put on a Tebow jersey. And fans will welcome you back with open arms, man. So you can't go wrong when you root for Tebow.
Tebow Sanchez.
So, but anyway.
When I retire and start a rock band, I'm going to call it Tebow Sanchez.
Tebow Sanchez?
That just flows to me. Tebow Sanchez. Just me, just my thoughts.
Well, let's wrap it up. We're getting close to the end of the show. Yeah. And let's talk about the NFC East.
Oh, God. That's the craziest division, I think, in football.
Yeah.
It's the biggest roller coaster ride, man.
Who knows? I mean,
Dallas is 7-4?
No, I'm sorry. I got it.
They're 4-7.
I got it wrong. No. Dallas is 5-6. Washington is 5-6. New York Giants are 7-4. But they play each other again, and they have a chance. Washington and Dallas still has a chance. You know, if they win one, they get to 6-6, and the Giants lose one. That puts them at 7-6. So, you know, there's a lot of football left, and only one team in that division is more than likely going to go.
Yeah.
And damn, Dallas has just disappointed me all year long. I mean, the Washington, who'd they play on Thanksgiving
Washington.
Day? Well, the Redskins, RG3 went off. Oh, yeah, my God.
He had like 280 yards, but had 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, the team I played in my fantasy league had RG3. He had like 33 fantasy points. But the good thing is my quarterback had 36, dog.
Who'd you have, Romo? That's who I had.
Yeah, I had Romo.
That's who I had.
433 yards and 5 touchdowns. So I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, they started coming back, and I was like, go. I didn't even realize that Romo had such a good day. And then, like, Friday at work, I pulled up my fantasy, and I'm like, I said, dang, he had 35 points. I said, okay. I said, I'll take that loss if he'll put up them kind of numbers for me. So they but that whole division, man, is just...
It's crazy. Washington and Dallas both still have a chance. The Giants are so sporadic. Now, the Giants, last night, they came out and thumped Green Bay pretty good.
Yeah, we talked about that on the way here and while we were here. I don't understand why. I do understand why New York's a good team, man. And I told you yesterday, I said, I really like the over in this game because you don't ever know when Eli's going to come out and drop 400 on you with 3 touchdowns.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think he had 400, but he threw the ball pretty well last night, had a few touchdowns. And
out of all the teams in the league that needed a bye, the Giants did.
They did. That's what he said in his interview. Did you see it?
No, I didn't.
They said, what's the biggest thing that helped you during your off week, your bye week? He said rest.
Yeah.
And that's what they did, man. They all rest.
Man, I'll tell you what, people don't understand. They look at these athletes as like superstar athletes, but in reality, they're just regular old human beings, man. They're regular average people and families and problems and health concerns and other things.
Hurricane Sandy.
Well, and think about it this way, Randy. This is what I tried to explain to somebody the other day. They go to the training camp. They practice for 2 or 3 weeks. Then they start the preseason games. They play 4 preseason games. Then they go and start playing the regular season games. They've been at this for 2 or 3 months now. Hard ass work. And let me ask you something. When you know you're going on vacation, it is Friday morning, and you are going on a 7-day vacation, but you have to go to work Friday. What do you get done at work on that Friday?
Me, being the dedicated employee I am, everything.
Yeah. Okay. 99% of America, before they go on vacation, when that day at work is a wasted day. They are finding ways to jack the dog, man, and they are so ready to leave. And so, and you know, I bet you half the New York Giants players, you know, before they went on their bye, they played Cincinnati and lost.
Yeah.
To Cincinnati, and I bet you half of those players didn't even go back to New York. They went to Oklahoma and Dallas and L.A. and Florida. They went back home to see their families. I mean, how many of the Giants players' families actually live with them? Probably only half of them.
Yeah.
They haven't seen their mama, their daddy, their grandparents, some of them their kids because they go to school in Dallas and L.A. and other places. I mean,
yeah. On top of that, it's Thanksgiving week. You know, they got the holiday off, so to speak, and they got to spend time with their families. So
yeah, so it was and plus Hurricane Sandy was so devastating to the New York
and those
area.
of us who aren't around it, and we were nowhere near it, and we kind of take that for granted. And I was listening to some of the things that the Sunday Night Football crew was having to say about it, and how they talked about how Eli, he was there for his teammates and tried to help them and accommodate them when some of them were down and out. Some of them didn't have power, and you take that for granted. When these guys go in every week and they have a routine, just like when I wake up in the morning, man, I have a routine before I go to work. Them guys do too. And when that gets messed up, it throws everything out of whack.
Yeah.
When I miss one part of my routine, I'm so harmonized to it that it throws me out of whack. It throws me out of sync, and it just messes up my day, it seems like. Yeah. And I have to work trying to regain it. Well, when you're a professional football player, man, you get your Sunday, you wake up, you go through your emotions. Well, if your emotions aren't the same,
yeah. Plus, you're just tired and wore out. The Giants have played some tough ball games this year, and they've had some Thursday night games. And their schedule, if you look at it, they got more night games and Saturday games and Monday night football games. I mean, they're the Super Bowl champions, so their schedule is
they're a big draw, man.
They are.
I mean, people enjoy watching them.
And they damn sure thumped Green Bay last night. They came out, the Giants did, and scored on their opening drive. Then Green Bay comes out and scores on their opening drive, makes it 7-7 in the first 4 minutes of the game. I'm like, the over was a good play. Then the Packers didn't score another touchdown the entire game. I mean, it was crazy. So
yeah, I didn't understand it, man. I really thought that
because the Giants came to play, Randy. I mean, obviously, was what it was. They shut down Aaron Rodgers and put a squash down on that.
Yeah, so they played very well, and I think that Green Bay took them a little lightly.
Yeah. Do you think Washington or Dallas can catch the Giants in that division? I don't think so.
I don't think they can. Well, Dallas, we talked about it last week that Dallas has the schedule too.
Yeah.
They had a hard time with Cleveland the other night, last Sunday. And, so I still thought they would bounce back against Washington, but you got to play 4 quarters of football to win a football game. You can't play, you can't take a half off and then try to fight back from a deficit like they did. But Washington, man, Shanahan's going to run the football so well to make things open up things for RG3. They're not there yet.
I think Dallas has already played New York twice this year, haven't they?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure.
So Washington is the only team that has a game left with the Giants because they've already played once also, and the Giants beat them. So I think the only team Washington plays them again because winning against the Giants straight up is one sure way to catch up quick.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, I don't know if there's enough games left for them.
I think Washington and Dallas are both capable of beating the New York.
But, here's the thing is the Giants are one of these teams, Randy, they somehow lose the games they're not supposed to.
Let them slip up against Philly. Let Philly mess around and get on a little bit of not a roll, but just get things going better. And then them take a night off against Philly. Philly will mess around and beat them, man.
Well, that's right, Randy. The worst team in the league can beat the best team in the league any day of the week, man. It happens.
There's never a spread in NFL football of 35 points like there is in college.
I mean, you're talking about, professionals here. And there is no difference between this sideline and that sideline as in talent.
That's right.
You're dealing with professionals, and that team can beat you if you don't take them serious. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I don't want to.
Randy, yesterday, I didn't have a good 1 o'clock game, 1 o'clock betting. I think I bet on 5 games at 1 o'clock. I took Tampa, lost that one because by 1 point it was a pick. I bet on Pitt at a pick. All they had to do was beat Cleveland, man.
We talk about every week. We talk about teams. Who's that one damn team we always talk about that's ruining?
The Cleveland Browns. Did you watch the Pitt game?
No, I saw the end of it.
7.
I saw
7. Randy, 7.
3 or 4 of them turnovers.
How many times in a game?
They fumbled 11 times and got 4 of them back or something.
7
3 of them back.
turnovers in the football game. 4 fumbles, 3 interceptions. 7. I don't care who you are. The A high school team could have beat the Steelers in that game.
Did you see Mike Tomlin's interview?
No, but I would have liked to see it.
You need to Google it, man. It's just this is why I like him. He said
he was seething on the sidelines. Man. You could just see it just boiling out of his ears. Man, I was like, I would not want to be in that locker room.
He said, I don't care who you are. If you fumble the ball 8 times, give it away 8 times, you will not win. Not in the NFL. And he said, also he said in the his interview, he said, we'll own this loss. He said, I know there's going to be a lot of people back home that ain't going to like this very much. He said, but we're going to own up to it, and we're going to work hard, and we're going to win next week. So Randy, that's the kind of guy Mike Tomlin is. That's why I like him.
I like Mike Tomlin, and
he makes it hard for me not to cheer against Pittsburgh sometimes.
How many possessions on offense do you get a game?
Oh, God.
Think about it. You're lucky to get the ball, 8, 9 times a game? You're going to get the ball 8 or 9, 10, 12.
Depends on your team. If you're Brady and them, you get it about 15. If you're Pittsburgh, you might get it 9, 10.
They turned it over 7 out of the 10 times, Randy. Oh, my God.
Man, you got an aging Charlie Batch at quarterback.
I heard a rumor today.
What?
I heard that, Pittsburgh has quarterback problems. Big time. Ben Roethlisberger's out for a while. There's several quarterbacks out there. What are you laughing at?
Tebow?
No. Okay. It's even better than that. Who is a
Brett Favre?
Brett Favre.
God, are you kidding me?
Brett Favre going to the Steelers, man. Tell me he couldn't step in there right now with that. We have sat here and said Pittsburgh Steelers has the best wide receiving core in football.
They're dinged up too now. They're hurt. They have added Plaxico Burress.
Yep.
I don't know how that's going to work.
Someone said that Tim Tebow has sent Mike Tomlin a video of him throwing the football. Still hitting like 70-something miles an hour on the radar, dude. Accurate, slinging.
Oh, I'm sure. I don't doubt that. And that's a system that he could do well with, providing they run the football well.
Randy, they can't win. They cannot. Pittsburgh Steelers cannot win with Charlie Batch or Byron Leftwich playing quarterback. I don't care. They're not going to win Sunday. I don't know who they're playing, but they are not going to win Sunday.
Yeah.
Did you see Charlie Batch? Honest to God, I could have started for the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday. I swear to God, I could have, Randy.
All right,
and
tomorrow,
done just as good as Charlie Batch could have. And
tomorrow at noon, I want you to meet me at the practice field, and we'll videotape you throwing the football a little bit.
And we can send it to Mike Tomlin, and maybe I'll get it.
Tomlin, maybe you'll get a.
I could not have done any worse. I promise you. So they have to. But whether it's Brett Favre or not, there's 3 or 4 quarterbacks out there looking for a job. David Garrard is looking for a job.
He'd be a good one up there, I believe.
Yeah.
Because he's still mobile. He's kind of like Ben. He's just not as big.
Yeah.
He's mobile, can get outside of the pocket and keep a drive alive with his legs a little bit.
I'm surprised he ain't in the league. But there's a couple other quarterbacks. But keep an eye on that. Brett Favre to the Steelers, man. Because if Ben Roethlisberger is really going to be out 6-8 weeks, they are not going to make the playoffs with Charlie Batch or Byron Leftwich. And that's all there is to it. And the Steelers want to win the Super Bowl. So
hey, I want to talk about one thing real quick, and I know we got to wrap this up, but what do you think about Colin Kaepernick? And
I'm glad you brought that up because that was one thing.
That's really what I wanted to open the NFL with because it's such a hot button, hot topic right now. But I do want to know what you think about it because we hadn't even talked about it.
I said, and I think we've talked about this kid's a rising star in the NFL. Last year, he hit the highlight reel 4 or 5 times with some unbelievable plays. He's hit it already a couple times in just some wildcat formations and whatnot. This kid is uber talented. And he got his chance, and I don't think – the other day, their first game they were playing, San Francisco played who was their first game against with Kaepernick starting? It was last Sunday night.
Yeah, it was Monday night game.
Monday night was
Chicago.
Chicago, yeah. And all my buddies, they loaded up on the Bears, and I'm saying when you bet on this game, you're betting on who you think's got the better quarterback. Backup quarterback. You're betting on Jason Campbell over Colin Kaepernick. And I said, my money's on Kaepernick any day of the week. This kid is a rising star in the NFL. I'm telling you, he is going to be a household name in a couple years, man. Unbelievable talent. What do you think?
It's funny, when we got home from doing the show last week, I turned on the game and he's throwing a pass over the shoulder just as pretty as NFL throws. And his throwing ability just really took me back a little bit. I was like, damn, this kid really can. And I knew he could. He played at Nevada, threw the ball out of the pistol. They did a bunch of spread stuff. I mean,
I've been on the Colin Kaepernick bandwagon for 5 or 6 years, so I watched.
They drafted him in the second round, high in the second round, and
Yeah.
they did it for a reason. They knew this kid was going to be pretty decent.
He's
I'm
awesome.
shocked he didn't. I'm shocked he didn't start last year.
Yeah.
Well, I know Alex Smith played pretty well last
Alex
year.
Smith is playing the best that he's ever played. And remember, we talked about this too. This is Alex Smith's first year in the league that he has had the same offensive coordinator. Okay. Every year Alex Smith's been in the league, he's had a different offensive coordinator. And this is the first year he's had the same coordinator for 2 straight years. So, and he has played well and efficient. And I think San Francisco goes to the Super Bowl with Alex Smith as their quarterback. Now, put in this dynamic kid. But don't get it wrong, Randy. It's easy, but it's also hard. There's going to find.
He's going to hit a wall, and when he does, people are going to bash him. Where's Alex Smith? And
That's right.
That's what's going to be tough.
So, but the good thing is Alex Smith has been there and done that. He's steady Eddie, man. So,
I agree, man. They went in yesterday and just kind of pounded on New Orleans a little bit.
Boy, that offense now, like Alex Smith can manage the offense and move it, but Kaepernick is dynamic. He is a game changer. He's an X factor, man. So
He is.
San Francisco, in my opinion, has upgraded at quarterback.
They have. I think that they've kind of fallen back a little bit. They're starting to say, hey, don't forget about us. We're still pretty damn good. And that defense scored a couple of touchdowns for them yesterday,
Well, it's
too.
my prediction at the beginning of the year San Francisco goes to the Super Bowl, and I'm still holding true to that. I think San Francisco plays Atlanta and in the NFC Championship, and I think San Francisco gets it done, man.
I think Atlanta needs one more loss before they hit the playoffs just to kind of get them in check and just kind of.
Atlanta showed me something yesterday because Tampa plays playoff football. That's how they play. They play playoff football. And Atlanta don't play playoff football. They play to win and they play their own style, but it's not really grind it out, grind your bones playoff football. But they did yesterday. They beat a really good ball club yesterday. Tampa.
Who are your top 3 teams in NFL football right now?
Okay.
If you were doing a power ranking.
4.
Okay, give me 4.
I got to give them 4, and I'll give them to you, but I already given you 2. Atlanta and San Francisco, I think, are going to play in the NFC
You
Championship.
think those are 1 and 2?
Well, I'm not going to rank them 1 through 4, but I'm just going to say, as long
Shane
as it's
said
not the damn Saints, I can't take another loss. And it might be the Saints.
It might be. I hope it ain't the Saints.
They've already beat them once.
Well, they play them Thursday.
Yeah, and the Saints.
That's what, man. Thursday is a great night for football. Between the college games going on and the damn NFL game going on, man, it's going to be a great night for football.
Absolutely.
I might call into work Friday. What's Friday's day? End of the month. I can't.
I think in the AFC Championship,
My syphilis is flaring up.
Denver, New England.
Denver, New England in the AFC.
Man,
That's your 4 teams right there. 1, 2, 3, 4.
man, think about it. Brady and Manning.
Who wins that matchup? Who do you like?
Man, it's a toss-up, dude. It's a toss-up. It is. So, who are your 4 teams?
It's a pick 'em. Who you taking? Who you putting your money on?
It's just going to be – it's just going to be a good game. I mean, I don't know, man.
You're going to hold your money and put it on the Falcons in the NFC Championship instead?
I'll put it on San Francisco.
Oh,
So
Shane's getting – watch out. Shane's getting mad.
Man, no, the problem with the San Francisco, Randy, is they have so much talent everywhere at running back, wide receiver, tight end, that no team can defensively match up with them. But if you want to get your team in this defense, all they have to do is back up, check, call a different play. They are so hard to match up against and have so much talent that I honestly don't think a team in the NFL defensively can match up with San Francisco's offense. So it's not that their offense is dynamic. It's just that it can do so many good things, man. It's just.
I think there's only one team that can, and they didn't last week. That's the Bears. They just did. They got pummeled. They got beat. I don't think they can. Now, I think if they play again, the Bears play a little better defense, but I don't think it'll be good enough.
Well, Cutler came back this weekend.
and they're talking about, could he be an MVP candidate because he means so much to his team? And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? I don't doubt he's important to his team.
I think Peyton Manning's getting the MVP.
He should. All right, real quick. Let's hit the Philly Carolina game tonight. Who do you take? Carolina's giving up 3 points. Who do you take and why?
To me, I only bet on a team I think that can win a game. And so I don't think Philadelphia can win this football game tonight.
You don't think they can win it? Shane, tell us what you think, buddy.
I don't think they can win it. So one team plays for their coach. They play hard. They're scrappy. Their record might not look good, but Carolina plays hard, and they're playing for their coach, and they believe in what their system, and the ownership believes in their coach. The city believes in their team. You know what I'm saying? Carolina is a team together in their locker room.
Who's the home team tonight? Do you know?
Philly.
This
The game's on the road. So in Philadelphia locker room is torn apart. The players do not play for Andy Reid anymore. Ownership, fans, you can't bet. You cannot bet on the Eagles. Maybe they win. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But the smart money is on the Panthers, man. I mean, they're starting a rookie quarterback, the Eagles are. And yeah, he looks good, but okay, who's your money on? Cam Newton or a rookie quarterback? Who do you like in the game, Randy?
I like the Panthers, but in my heart, man, golly, something tells me that daggum Eagles are going to show. Man, they're not a great team, but they're not as awful as they're playing either, man. There's got to be something bright about this team.
What, Carolina?
No, about the Eagles, man. If I'm taking my wallet out right now and laying money down, I'm laying it on the Panthers.
They've given up,
the Eagles,
they've given up. Man, they have some players on their team that their body language is so awful. They have given it up, man. They are already making vacation plans, dude. They already called their travel agents and are getting their itinerary ready for this off season. They're done. They have mailed it in, man.
They're moving to San Diego.
They're moving to San Diego with Andy Reid. So that's funny.
Maybe.
So LaShawn McCoy's not playing tonight.
I forgot about that, Shane. Thanks for bringing that up. LaShawn McCoy's out.
Matter of fact, I might just bet my whole bankroll on the Panthers tonight. I mean, good God,
it's starting to sound like a better pick more and more. And I'm beginning to wonder why it's only 3.
Yeah.
So you got a rookie quarterback. I don't think Bryce Brown's a rookie. I think he's a second-year guy. He may be a rookie. I don't know, but he's going to be starting a running back, and they still got some good receivers out there. But the problem is, if you ain't got time to throw the ball, it doesn't matter who you got back there. So, because Foles ain't going to drop it and run, so
yeah,
he ain't going to tuck it and run. But I don't know.
All right, man.
Well, that's the Monday night wrap
good
up.
Podcast. I enjoyed it, Randy.
I did too. So, everyone out there, if you will, visit our website. We're tearing up the picks this year.
We have been on fire. So winning 70%, over 70% on the year. Just Saturday alone, we went 80%. So we give away all our picks for free. So get on our website. If you're taking the time to listen to our podcast, take the time to get on our website and see our picks for this weekend. And I've already got a couple. Like I'm kind of excited about. So
yeah, I've looked at a few too, and I got my eye on a couple. I hope they're not the same. I like when we have all different picks, but
yeah, you're probably wondering what I'm doing. I'm actually getting on to my gambling account here and going to increase the wager.
I don't know if you should really just put that out there.
No, that's okay.
Okay. Anyways, well, guys, we appreciate all your support.
That's how confident I feel in the Panthers, man.
Shane, thank you for checking in tonight. As always, tell your friends about us. Tell your family. Don't tell your kids, so we want to be a positive influence on them. And as long as Jackie's beside me. Woo.
Hey,
so
I enjoyed it. Until next week, guys, y'all have a good weekend.
Special thanks to Anero Media, as always, for all their help and sophistication. And we will see you guys next week.
Thanks, Donovan.
This has been a presentation of the Anero Media Network. Your reality distorted.